going on, everybody on YouTube? Just coming back with another live stream for you guys. It's already been over a month roughly since we did a live stream. And of course, if you're new and tuning in for the first time, our live streams are for you guys specifically. So if you have any questions or anything like that, I'm sure we got a few since it's been a while since we last did a live stream. And if you don't know who I am, of course, and just wonder why you should or shouldn't listen to me, I have over almost 10 years now of experience in the pest control industry. And I am in year 5 of owning my own pest control business. The business is Preferred Pest Management, like most of you all know. Like I said, we're in year 5 now already, and I took that business from 0 to 6 figures our first year of operation, and I just document that entire journey for you guys, just my overall business journey and things like that. And then we do these live streams periodically. I'm going to try to start doing some more of them, of course. Just had to take a little hiatus for a while. A lot of you guys know I was dealing with a little bit of health, not issues, just some things that flare up from time to time, and just as what it is. So trying to pump out some more videos for you guys. Of course, we had a video about a week ago roughly about OpenPhone versus Google Voice. If you didn't see that video already and you're needing a work cell phone or anything like that, definitely suggest checking that out, and definitely do your own research. Like I mentioned in that video, we've used both of them, OpenPhone and not OpenPhone. What's the other one? Google Voice. Man, having a brain fart. Google Voice and OpenPhone, and OpenPhone by far is, of course, the best one, at least in my opinion. I'm always interested to know, like I said in that video, let me know in the comments of that one if you all, like Google Voice more. But yeah. Other than that, we have been, like I said, just kind of on a little hiatus lately, and just wanted to get back at it for you guys because, of course, 2025 kicks off tomorrow. And I know that just a lot of you guys are probably getting in that spirit of, man, it's going to be a new year, need to set some goals. Maybe you haven't started your own pest control business yet, and you're just like, 2025 is going to be my year. And I was like, what better time to go live than, right before 2025 kicks off to answer any questions that you guys may have. I always, because I know it takes a few minutes for people to start coming in, I also have my YouTube comments just pulled up as well. We'll probably go over some questions that we've had over the last couple weeks and things of that nature. And I'll check real quick, see if we have any comments. Oh, and by the way, I cannot believe I did not bring this in here. We have a little giveaway today. YouTube has this new thing in their little chat box for the live streams, and I guess it set a goal for me or something. It said something about, if we get, 10 super chats or something like that, then, we'll give an item away. And the item that we're going to give away today is, like I said, I can't believe I didn't bring it in here. I'll have to put it on the screen, I guess, and show you guys. But it's called Get Shit Done Planner for 2025. It's not just like a traditional planner. You guys know I've been using them for a while now. I like it because it has a different planner schedule for each individual day, and it's not like in a calendar order. So say you forget a day or two, you're not wasting pages or anything. Like, each page is blank, you fill in the date, all that type of stuff. And then from there, you put your goals on it. You literally schedule your day minute by minute, hour by hour, whatever you need to do. And like I said, we'll give that away. It's something like $20, I believe, if you were to buy it yourself. So yeah, if we do end up hitting that, then I will send that to somebody in the chat. So with that, we'll just kind of dive right into just overall questions, get the comments pulled up here. Let's see, we got Mr. Neezy TV in the house, says, let's go, love your content, appreciate you tuning in. Do more videos on sacrifices. Man, I could do a whole documentary on sacrifices, I tell you. Let's see, you do have a question here too. Will you ever start a sales team? So my plan overall in terms of sales and hiring a sales team or door-to-door or anything like that is going to be more so in-house. Just, again, this is just my plan. Of course, it hasn't unfolded or anything. I'll keep you guys updated, of course. But what we're planning on doing is really kind of just training our technicians to kind of be the all-in-one. It's going to allow them to make more money because obviously when we're talking about how to keep technicians, how to keep good work, a lot of it is they want more money, right? So we can't just give them more money, obviously. They have to be able to produce. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretty much just have our pay structure where, you kind of have your quote-unquote guaranteed money for showing up, doing the work, their salary for doing the stops. But then we're going to have a bunch of incentives in place where, if you sell this, you're going to get this percentage for it. You'll get the production for it, whatever the case may be of how that cookie ends up crumbling. But we plan on keeping a lot of that more in-house. And then because what I have noticed over the last, 4+ years now, in year 5 already, is you can sell on the phone. So if we have the opportunity to sell something real quick and easy over the phone, then we'll do it. We'll send the technician out there, boom, general pest control, right? But say the technician gets out there and then we find a hole where, a squirrel or something's getting in. Then the technician has the opportunity, obviously, to upsell that into an exclusion service. And then they get a set percentage for selling that job. And then obviously they're going to get paid for completing the job. A lot of ways for them to double or even triple dip on the sales. And then the other thing with it is a lot of times there are opportunities for sales where you can't sell it over the phone, right? You can at least have a ballpark, but you can't just straight up sell it over the phone, like an exclusion service, like a liquid termite treatment, like an insulation job. Insulation job, again, using Google Maps, you can kind of measure that stuff out and get pretty close number overall, but a lot of these jobs you do want to quote in person. So with that, we will just schedule an inspection, have the technician go out there, and then let them, again, sell that job. So they're kind of a salesman and a technician, but it allows them to, again, make more money. So, and like I said, that's just kind of my plan. That's how we've been doing it, just like with me. Like, if my wife isn't able to, sell something, she's like, I don't know how to price that for sure. Let me go ahead and send the owner out there and give you a quote. We tend to sell a lot of those because we're already there. Hey, I have what's on the truck. Do you want to go ahead and do this? Okay, let's go ahead and do it, right? If it's something that's wasps or, something that they just want done as soon as possible, just sell the inspection if nothing else. So hopefully that kind of helps answer that question. Yeah, like you said, I will start doing some more of those videos too, videos on sacrifices. I always wondered if people really like those videos, about sacrifice, because there's already so many generic entrepreneurial YouTube channels out there that post all this motivational and this and that. I didn't know if my viewers even like that stuff. So yeah, it's good to know, and I will do more of those videos for you guys. How's it going, Josh? Happy New Year. Says, I'm starting my pest control business and I need a work. Did you mean I need a lot of work? How did you go about getting your first truck and financing? So I actually do have a video. It's already been 2 years or so now since I posted that video, but a video about how we went about getting financing on a truck. So I will say, if you're a single person, right, and you're just starting out on your own, it's going to be pretty difficult because you have no source of income, technically speaking, because if you just quit your job or lost your job and you just started your business, right, you have no real proof of income. So your credit score better be very, 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 very good. For us, it worked out pretty well because my wife had just started working recently. She had pay stubs to show she was working. Our credit scores were pretty good. They weren't excellent at the time. They were high 6s, low 7s. It wasn't great at the time, but it was good enough. And the interest rates were low on top of that, which helped us just that much more. But because it was 2020 whenever we got our, so interest rates on everything was just crazy low at the time with COVID and everything. But my whole point is the easier it will be is based on your credit and your proof of income. So if you have a spouse, or as much as I hate co-signing and stuff like that, if you have somebody that will be willing to co-sign for you, your odds of getting approved are that much higher, because we tried with just me, and surprise, surprise, because I had no proof of income, I got declined. But as soon as we applied with like me and my wife on there, and my wife wasn't even showing like a huge income or anything. She was only making like maybe $3,000 or $4,000 a month pre-tax and everything. But as soon as we put that on there, it was like a $15,000 truck. We were only putting something like $500 or maybe $1,000 down, and we got approved, and the interest rate was like 6%. So, it wasn't awful, right? It wasn't ideal. We were aiming for more like 3 or 4%, but I had no proof of income. I just lost my job like 2 weeks ago, or 2 weeks before, I should say, applying for that loan, and I had like just started the business that week. So, it's going to be hard unless if you either A, have a co-signer, like a parent or somebody like that, or B, a spouse that is working and has some proof of income, or you're still at your job. Like, this is where if you're able to plan it out properly, you go and get the truck before you go out on your own. That way you still have your proof of income and everything like that. So, and then of course there's ways that you can, once you're like further down the road, like buy it in the company's name and blah, blah, blah. I haven't even like gone into any of that yet. From what I was talking with my accountant about it, I mean, if we were like a C Corp, it would be one thing, but right now it's just not really necessary. But hopefully that kind of helps a little bit. Mr. Neezy TV says, do you focus on accounts or contract value? So, I mean, both at the end of the day. Obviously, we're always trying to maximize how much we can get out of each customer, but we're not going to like stoop down and, start selling them a bunch of stuff that they don't need at the end of the day either. Because obviously at the end of the day, as long as the phone is ringing and you're continuing to add more and more and more, then, everything else just takes care of itself as long as you're adding more clients than you're losing month over month. So, in terms of which one's more important than the other, I would definitely say more accounts, because like I said, as long as you're continuing to add more accounts than you're losing, the contract value, yeah, that still matters, but it's just simple addition, subtraction, multiplication at the end of the day. Like, a lot of people will, take you on this roller coaster of like, oh, well, if we get 5 customers paying us $2,000 a year, that is like equivalent to getting 10 customers, like just this huge mathematical thing. And don't get me wrong, like I said, you want to know your numbers. Like, we know we have our preferred protection plan that covers everything. That's our most expensive plan. I say most expensive, they're saving the most, but it's the most expensive in terms of contract value for us. And then we have like our starter plan, which is just general pest control, right? Like, you want to know all those numbers, but at the end of the day, the most important number is obviously going to be more contracts, because how do you get technicians and trucks? You have to have a route. So, at the end of the day, if a technician only has 100 customers, but the account value is, say, something ridiculous, just throw out a random number out there, like $2,000, okay, well, that's a $200,000 route, but it's only 100. Like, he doesn't have enough work really to justify hiring him. But on the flip side of that, obviously you want the higher contract value, because then you're able to, one, pay the technician more, and B, not have to hire a technician as early too, if that makes sense. So like I said, there's a lot of math that goes into it, but it is basic math at the end of the day. I wouldn't necessarily say neither is more important than the other, but I am constantly focusing on specifically, how many accounts are we adding per year, per month, per quarter, whatever the case may be. But both are definitely important for sure. So hopefully that kind of helps, and hopefully I didn't confuse you too much with just all the back and forth. Let's see. So you bought the truck under your name and insured it under the business. At first, no. So at first, I literally, because again, I was brand new. I didn't really know much about it at the end of the day. We bought it under me and my wife's name, and we put it under our personal insurance policy, and that was that. Now, about a year ago, roughly now, we put it under the commercial auto insurance policy instead, which ironically is cheaper than our personal auto insurance. That kind of blew my mind, but from what I understand, that doesn't really happen very often, but it did for us. And yeah, like I said, the first like 3 years though, we just had it insured under our personal policy. But like I actually mentioned that it was either in a short or a video within the last few months that like you definitely want to have a commercial auto policy in place as soon as possible and 100% before you hire anybody. Like, please do not hire somebody and put that all on your personal. Like, you won't be covered at all. You're gonna get dropped. Like, just do not do it. Let's see. So I was thinking about staying at my pest control job while starting my business on the side until it grows enough so I can do it full time. What are your thoughts on this? So, in a lot of states, you're not even able to do so because you're only able to have your license under one company. So, make sure first and foremost, if you're even able to do that in your state. I don't know all of the state's laws, of course. I only know my state laws here in Texas. And in Texas, you're only able to have your license under one company. So that is something that you want to look at first and foremost. And then obviously, there's some ethical stuff there too. Me personally, I didn't start on the side. I, was getting everything, all my ducks in a row, saving up the money. I paid for my own certified applicator's exam twice because I failed the first time because I was just kind of effing off to a degree. I wasn't really studying for it. I thought it was going to be easy, and it turned out to be a lot harder than I imagined. Not to mention I had zero experience in termite work at the time, so I was just straight up winging it on the termite test. But my whole point is like, at the bare minimum, of course, go ahead and get all your ducks in a row. Ideally, get a truck, get everything in place, and then, if you're not able to start on the side in your state, then, like we said, just save up a good little nest egg of money and then just launch. So yeah, hopefully that helps answer that one. And then I also wanted to show you guys really quick. I just got my CA and I'm in Texas. So yeah, if you're in Texas, then you're risking your license by doing it on the side and risking obviously getting fired. Like, there's just too many risks at the end of the day. I've heard of guys doing it. I'm not saying that you can't. Technically, you can do whatever you want. I personally just wouldn't suggest it. I didn't do it. I didn't even take any customers from my previous employer. Like, I just, I kind of did the straight and narrow way. Even though since they technically fired me, there was no non-compete. But, that was just how I did it. But one thing I wanted to also show you guys as well, let's see if I can pull this up for you all. I wanted to show you guys, because a lot of you guys have been asking recently, since I hired this SEO company, what's their name? Digital Overlords. Just kind of how everything's been going. And like I told you guys in the comment responses, I was like, it's still early on. This is now going into January. This will be like month 4. This will be like our 4th full month, I believe. So I think I signed up in like late August. So September, October, November, December. So this will either be like month 4, month 5, something like that now. And like I told you guys early on, I was like, I'm not really going to judge much of anything until we get to about like month 6 through 12. I was like, I'll keep you guys updated on just how everything's going. And funny enough, right as I started thinking about doing this live stream for you guys, I checked our SEMrush or SEMrush, however you want to pronounce this little SEO tool, which is free technically, but you have to upgrade to really, look at much. Like, you can only do like 5 or 10 things, and then it'll tell you that you've hit your limit for the day. So, I'm still on the free one. I was paying for it briefly when I was doing all the SEO myself, but it is expensive. It's like $300 a month. So, unless if you're really, really good at SEO and just going to dive in and do it yourself, I would just keep the free version and just do what you can. Like I said, you get 5 to 10 different reports that you can run per day. And from what I've dealt with it, that's fine, especially since I'm kind of more so hands off. I still type up blogs and things like that for the website, but they are kind of handling everything on the back on the backside of things now, like with link building and just making sure everything's structured properly and things of that nature. And like I said, funny enough, as soon as I was like thinking, let me go ahead and check everything because it's been a couple weeks, because obviously I was dealing with some health stuff and just kind of took my eye off the ball in terms of the SEO side of things. I noticed our traffic has started to really kind of have an uptick recently. Everything has just kind of started to really start to gain some traction here this second half of December. Our organic keywords are kind of through the roof. I say through the roof. We're still only at 225, but you can see overall, just in the last month, we're up 196%. Our traffic is up almost 1,000%. If we go all the way back to beginning December, I mean, we're talking organic traffic 3, and now we're talking organic traffic 31. Obviously, a huge jump towards the end of December. Even our authority score is up. This was, as you can see, in November at 9 million, almost 10 million. Now we're up to 5.7. Same thing with visibility. At one point, we had 0 visibility in early October. We shot up and then we kind of plateaued right around 0.5% to 1. Now we've taken another leg up to about 1.5, roughly 1.3 to 1.5. We even recently cracked the top 10, it looked like, for a couple days under search term pest control near me. And we're just slowly but surely adding, some more, not just new keywords, but keywords that are actually ranking well enough to get some traction. I have had a couple more forms filled out and phone calls from just different areas than what we normally would, just very local from our Google Business Profile. We've had calls in Saxe, Texas, Wiley, Texas, which if you don't know kind of where I'm at, I'm in the Plano, Texas area, which is just north of Dallas. And then as you work east, it kind of goes Plano, Murphy, Saxe, Wiley, Rowlett, like as you're working east, and then west, you have like West Plano, and then obviously Frisco, like a bunch of stuff. And for the most part, most of our calls have been kind of like just right around our location, obviously, because our Google Business Profile ranks very well. We get anywhere between like 20 to 60 leads a month from that alone. But now we're even starting to get some, I can tell from the website, we're getting some calls in like Richardson, Texas. We've had a lot of Wiley lately, Wiley and Saxe and a couple Murphy even here and there. So definitely, at least from what I can tell, now again, it's still very early on, but just from this alone, I mean, I can tell like we're getting some movement, and you can even cross-reference, like cross-check it with Ahrefs as well. As you can see here, they're showing, how do I get back to this? I wanted to see, let's see, let me go back to the beginning here. So as you can see, they're even showing backlinks up, organic traffic. They're showing only 15, but everything updates differently too. Like if I remember, Ahrefs only updates like once a week or something like that on the free version. But you can see organic keywords is also pretty close. What was, oh, you can't even see this actually. Almost forgot to switch my window for you guys. Let me see, present. Let me see, trying to do this for you guys. No, I don't want that one. So y'all got to bear with me. Present, stop screen, present, share screen, and now we'll go to Ahrefs. Here we go. Okay, there we go. So now you all can see Ahrefs. This is another tool that, again, you can sign up for free. They, of course, like all of them, have a paid version. I like SEMrush more, but again, it's not a bad idea to kind of just cross-check everything, see, what the two are saying. Obviously, domain rating and all that stuff, like the domain rating is the least important thing. What you're wanting to focus on the most is your referring domains, backlinks, and of course your traffic, and then organic keywords. What I like about Ahrefs too is they put a value on your traffic. So one thing you can do is you can actually go in here. So see, like that you have to pay for, but there's a way that you can see your competitors. Let me pull up my site here. So we go in through here. You can see same thing. You can see the traffic spike. Now again, they're only saying 15 for the traffic spike, but more so than anything, just take a look at how many calls you're getting. What are your keywords looking like? You can see overall our keywords have been going up, especially 21 through 50, which of course we plan on those 21 through 50s bumping up to 11 through 20, and then 4 through 10, 1 through 3, etc. You can see we're starting to finally break some 4 through 3s, or 4 through 10s. We're now, at 3 in there. They even break it down in terms of branded keywords versus non-branded keywords. I like that we are having non-branded keyword traffic because that tells me that we're showing up for, some of those generic searches like pest control near me, rodent control near me, like those type of terms. Branded traffic's good, but that's going to come more longer term as the company continues to grow, of course. And then you can see your competitors. This is what I like to look at too, just to see, just how much more growth we have to go. Because like I said, this is a marathon, not a race. So see that little blue dot? That is us still. So even with this recent spike and everything, we are still way down here where our biggest competitor, Allsafe, which you guys have heard me talk about them, look at their organic traffic, man. 3,200 with 759 pages getting traffic. An organic traffic value of over $17,000 a month. This is per month, by the way, just their organic traffic value. So do you guys see kind of just what I mean about whenever I call it building digital assets, what I'm referring to? What I'm referring to is literally you're building a digital asset. Your website is a digital asset. Your Google business profile is a digital asset. Your YouTube channel for your business is a digital asset. Like all of this is things that will be considered if or when you decide to ever A, go public with your company looking for funding, or B, looking to just exit your company altogether. These will be things that will be considered on top of obviously the basic stuff like other assets in the business that you have, contract values, all this different stuff, right? But these are things also that you want to take into consideration. Now, obviously ours is still very small right now. We have 37 pages getting any organic traffic right now. Our organic traffic is only about $85. So what does that mean? That means we're probably getting a couple leads a month at the most, which makes sense because like I said, I just noticed recently, okay, we're getting some more website traffic than normal. Like we're getting more lead forms filled out. We'll have months where we might only get one lead form filled out and we might get like one phone call. Of course, you want to use CallRail to track that. But this month, we've noticed a pretty big uptick. We probably had, at least 5 forms filled out, if not more. Maybe even, we can, instead of guessing, let's just log in. I'll show you guys, get this pulled up here as well. And by the way, if you guys have any questions, it doesn't even have to be just about this. Just let me know and we'll get it pulled up here for you. Let's see, share the screen, and I want to show you guys just our overall, what we're looking at here. So total forms, is that this month? Yeah, this month, 12 forms filled out. So like I said, we just had one on Friday, and like I said, that's a huge uptick. You can see overall, we've been using this platform for almost 2 years. So in 2 years, we've had 164. Let me just do some quick math. Actually, it's not quite 2 years. It'll be 2 years in May, late May. So what we're at, what would that be? That'd be 19 months. So 164 divided by 19. That is an average of only about 8 to 9 forms a month. And that's including this month's with 12. So even if you just go based off that alone, that's a 50% increase in total forms that have been filled out this month. So, like I said, it's obviously a huge increase. We're just getting started, but I'm happy with them. Again, we're paying this company, was it 400, I believe. Yeah, $400 per month right now. So, and that's the thing. Like I said, you can just tier it up from there. Um, if you want them to be doing more for you guys, like they can do more based on whatever your budget is. So, I wanted to address that in this stream too, because like I said, I know I've had a lot of you guys questioning just, how am I liking the SEO service that I'm paying for right now? Am I just saying that everything is perfect right now, that I'm totally happy with where we're at? No, I'm definitely not happy with where we're at. I mean, our average position is still 65, pretty much 66, but looky there. As you can see, over the last month, our average position is down almost 4 spots. And again, that's across the entire website. We're going to have pages and articles that don't really rank at all because they're just link juice. But look at our impressions overall. Impressions are up over 111%. Clicks are up over 5%. CTR for some of our branded keywords are up pretty well. Let's see what else we got. Of course, organic traffic is up. All the keyword changes for the most part are in the positive. Like I said, everything just seems to be doing pretty well for only being in like month 4, month 3, month 4 of using them so far. So I definitely can't complain. And like I said, that company is Digital Overlords. I'm not like affiliated with them. I don't have any like affiliate links or anything like that for you guys. But like I said, we've been using them for about 3 or 4 months now. And I know I've had some of you guys asking just how am I liking it so far. And like I said, overall, I can't really complain at all. Another thing I want to do, which we are closed today, so our rankings might not look that well because, like I told you guys a few months ago, I noticed with a Google update that your business hours 100% affect your rankings now. One thing that we noticed with our Google business profiles, we're getting a lot of rodent calls. And when I ran this report recently, we were ranking very well in like a 10 to 15 mile radius, which was just amazing because obviously in an area like ours, which has hundreds of pest control companies in it, you are going to be lucky to rank well outside of like 3 to 5 miles. Like if you're ranking very well, like number 1 through 3 within more than about 3 to 5 miles of your business profile, then you are kicking ass on that search term. And like I said, we are closed right now because it's New Year's Eve, and you can already see a bunch of these green dots are popping up. This is a 10-mile radius graph right here. So you can see in some of these areas, we are ranking in the top 4. I can't tell right now if that's a top 3 or top 4 spot. It looks like a 3 or 2 to me right here, but our location is right in here. So 10 miles out here, we are ranked, or what would that be? Is that 10 miles? Yeah, 10 miles. We're ranking in the top 3. So, and this is for search term rat exterminator, which if you are wondering, like, where did he come up with that search term? Let's do this. We can pull up my Google business profile. This is something you guys definitely should be doing. At least just, on a quarterly basis, pull up your Google business profile. Go ahead and exit some of this stuff out of here. Sure, you can use my location. I don't care. So go into your performance, and then what you'll do is don't worry about filtering any of this. Just scroll down, and eventually you will see the most common search terms. So what you'll do is you'll click See More, and then I like to look at the first like 10 to 15, because after you get past 10, you can see there's just not really a lot of traffic with those search terms. So usually I hang around the top 10 of just different search terms. And you can see here, obviously pest control service, pest control Plano, just different types of preferred searches, pest control near me, and then looky there, rat exterminator. I found that interesting because I knew I was like, we're getting a lot of rodent traffic lately. And look at some of these terms: rodent control, Plano, exterminator, an exterminator near me, that can be pest or rodent. Rat exterminator, that was the one that stood out the most to me. I was like, wow, we had 54 page views. These are people that actually like clicked on your profile at some point. Um, Over search term rat exterminator. So I plugged that in to was this tool, Local Falcon, and I was pretty amazed. And like I said, keep in mind this graph you're about to see when it finishes, this last little dot right here, um, is a graph of us being closed. I keep stressing that. I've said that like 3 or 4 times now because, like I said, your business hours 100% affect your search rankings. So your search rankings are going to be the worst when your business is closed. Obviously, I mean that would make sense, right? Like, why would Google really want to push a business that isn't even open right now? So, man, this one is taking forever to show up. I guess while I'm waiting for that, I will see if we have any questions or anything. Let's see. No questions so far. I see we still got about 4 or 5 of you tuning in, and hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream so far. If you are, do me a favor and smash the thumbs up button. It lets me know that you guys do like and appreciate these live streams that we do, and feel free to share it with somebody too. Like if you're planning on starting your business with a business partner or something like that, feel free to share it with them. We're always looking to grow the community. We got over 3,100 of us here already. I mean, it's just crazy to see just how much we're growing this community here. And like I said, I will, while I'm waiting on that last little dot to fill in, let me see. I want to answer some questions that we had in the comments too. So, Chef313 asks, what about monthly? What would your monthly or bi monthly service? Let me see. What would be your monthly or bi-monthly service? At first, I thought 30 a month was pretty low, but now I'm seeing that's for the quarterly. So yeah, 30 a month. That was in that video he's referring to, which was the video where like I did a live sales call and recorded it for you guys. The 30 a month now, that minimum is 39 a month, by the way. But that was for our like basic quarterly service on, I think that was like a 1,200 square foot home, very small home that took like 10 to 20 minutes to treat. But to answer the question about like what would that home have been for like a monthly or bi-monthly service, that one, if we did bi-monthly, you're essentially just kind of not quite doubling the rate. You double the, how I always go is whatever it comes out to for the quarterly is just that's what it comes out to for the service in general, if that makes sense. So say you sell it at, like this example here was $30 a month about 2 years ago. $30 a month, that ends up being what, like $90 a quarter, which again, we don't sell anything that cheap anymore. That was 2 years ago. But let's just say that using that logic on that little 1,200 square foot home, you were selling it at $90 per quarter. So instead of $90 per quarter, now it's going to be $90 bi-monthly. So what would that mean? The bi-monthly rate is it's $45 plus tax per month in that case. Say it's a monthly. Well, then the monthly would just be $90 a month or $89 a month. I always like to use nines because there's a psychological effect there with sales that it just, I mean, it's $1. It's only $1 cheaper, but it feels a lot cheaper. That's why every time you go to a store, what do you always see? You don't ever see like a rounded number. It's always like $39.99 or $29.99, $99.99, right? Like nothing ever ends with a 0, a 5. Occasionally you'll get 4s, but usually it's like 4s and 9s for the most part, right? Of course, obviously with different sales, it might be like $32.99, but you never ever ever see like just a rounded number. There's a psychological effect there with that. So like us, a lot of times what we'll do is that's why like our monthly rate for the bare minimum now is $39.99 a month or $39 a month, and then say that we up that to a monthly service. What would that come out to? 39 times 3. 39 times 3. That would be 117. So we would say, in that case, we would say 119 per month if it was a monthly service. And usually, to be honest, when it comes to monthly services, I don't necessarily stick with that 100% because there is a little bit of give. Because you got to think with the quarterly and bi monthly, you do have to consider that you are going to be pricing in the possibility of callbacks. Where with monthly, you pretty much don't have a callback unless if there's some crazy one-off emergency, right? Which is very rare. I don't even think I've ever had that happen before with a monthly account. But so instead of it being like 119 for the service, I might say like 99, right? So there is some wiggle with that. It just depends on the situation at the end of the day, but that's just kind of my rule of thumb. And let's see, I think our graph just finished up here. Let me get it pulled up. So yeah, as you can see, 10-mile radius, number 2. Number 2, number 1, number 5, number 5. I mean, like I said, guys, our location is right, where are we? Up a little bit. We are like right here is where we're located, right? No, we're right here. This is where we're at, right here. Right where these bunch of number 1s are. So, just to kind of zoom back out, because when you're looking at it at first, you kind of think like, oh, that doesn't look that far. Well, guys, look how many towns fit in here. Plano, Murphy, Lucas, Allen, Texas, West Plano, Richardson, Texas starts right down here, and it goes all the way down into here. Garland comes up through here. Saxe, Wiley, St. Paul, and like I said, Lucas. Branch isn't even a town, it's Princeton. Same thing with Lowry Crossing, that's Fairview and Princeton essentially. But like you can see, I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, Plano, Texas alone has like over 500 plus thousand people. Allen, Texas, if I remember, also has around 500,000. Maybe slightly less, but pretty close to that. Fairview and McKinney are pretty big towns of their own too. I mean, it's Dallas Fort Worth, right? Like, it's a major metropolitan area. I mean, it's just massive, right? So, the fact that we're ranking this well in a 10-mile radius, I'm thrilled by it, and it explains why we continue to get so many rodent calls, which I appreciate, but I would much rather rank well for like my general pest control terms. Like, let's look at that graph compared to how just pest control service looks. And again, like I said, we got to keep in mind with these graphs that are running, that's probably why we're seeing like random blotches of red and green as we get further out. It's because we are closed right now because it's New Year's Eve. So the graph isn't going to look as, uniform and pretty as it would whenever it was like a normal business day. But yeah, like you can see right now, like look at that. I mean, it's showing everything red. That is how I actually expected the rat control one to look because we're closed right now. So that is a more representation of what to expect whenever your business is closed. Because like I said, your operating hours 100% affect your Google Business Profile rankings. So if you needed proof of that, there you go. So let's see. Matter of fact, I might want to make sure that nothing has been messed with either, because sometimes Google will be sneaky and hop in here. Okay, so we do have pest control service as our primary, animal control service as our secondary. Sometimes Google, or dare I even say your competitors, will go in here and make edits. Yes, believe it or not, people, the public, including your competitors, can go in there and do what's called suggest and edit. Now, they can't technically like edit it for you, but they can hit a button called suggest and edit. They call this negative SEO or dirty SEO, something like that, where you'll literally go in and suggest a bunch of just BS edits, and it's completely ridiculous that Google allows this, but Google will pretty much just boom accept the edit from the get-go. And then if you don't pay attention to that, you could be severely impacted in the negative. Like, say a competitor went in and tried to flip animal control and pest control, we would be getting like nothing but rodent work, and that would explain why we're not getting any pest work in that example. But Everything here looks fine for us. No one has messed with it, obviously. So, and by the way, don't do that. If you do that to your competitor, you're kind of just a piece of shit. I mean, if we're going to be honest, excuse my language, but if you don't believe in God or karma or anything like that, then you'll find out. But let me see. I want to see if we had any other questions or anything. Let's see. No more questions so far. Let me pull up. We've only been, I guess we've been live for 45 minutes already. If anyone has any last minute questions or anything, I will wait for them. I'm going to pull up like I said, I got the comments here pulled up as well, just from previous videos and things like that. So I'm just going to see if there's any other ones here. Let's see. I didn't even see this one, I don't think. Rube Jaco, sorry, I'm probably totally butchering that, said, what do you think of GorillaDesk VoIP? Is OpenPhone a better option? Great video. Actually, I did see that one and I responded. So what I told him, and I still believe that to this day, is, I think GorillaDesk VoIP is definitely superior if you're going to be using GorillaDesk. However, the reason I still give OpenPhone the edge, and which is why we still use OpenPhone to this day, is because GorillaDesk VoIP is just astronomically expensive. I cannot stress that enough. I mean, it adds something like another $100 or so, $150 per month, when we're already paying, $99 to $149 a month for just the CRM. But don't get me wrong, I've beat their drum over and over that they are the best CRM for pest control on the market, which, by the way, of course, if you're not already using them, they did hook us up with an affiliate discount for you guys where you get the pro version for free for 2 weeks. So if you want to try it, links for everything, of course, are always in the description boxes of videos and streams. But I don't know if or when I will make the jump to GorillaDesk VoIP, just because I cannot justify paying 15x. Think about that. 10 to 15x for just the VoIP. Like, all you're paying for is convenience, because all we're talking about doing is hopping between two different tabs. Because obviously we use Zapier, however you want to pronounce it, where as soon as a call ends or as soon as a form is put in, it already gets put into GorillaDesk as a lead anyways. So literally all that we're having to do is do our communication in OpenPhone. So what we do is we go into GorillaDesk, we'll copy the number, we'll paste the number, send the message. Like that's literally all in terms of convenience that it's costing us. And that's just hard for me to justify paying, like I said, 10 to 15x more just for a little bit of convenience. So like I said, I love GorillaDesk. I love the CRM. We've been using them for going on 5 years now. But the VoIP, that has to come down considerably for us to even consider it right now. Well, would I pay for it? I don't know. I mean, I might. You could probably get me on board for $50 a month, because we're paying, like I said, somewhere around like $15 a month after all the taxes and fees and everything with OpenPhone. So I mean, $50 a month, it is still more, but if they had it at that price, I could probably get with it. But anything more than that is just too much for me. And from what I've heard, I can't confirm it because I haven't spoken with Chris recently or anything, but from what I heard from one of you guys actually in a live stream we did a while back, they actually use OpenPhone's technology for their VoIP service. So that's interesting. Let's see. Todd Goodson, Happy New Year, said, "Are you using any AI tools or looking into using them?" Right now I'm just using ChatGPT still. Let me see if I still have that pulled up actually, just to kind of, let's see, let's go into share this tab instead. So what am I even looking at right here? Oh, this is actually for Facebook ads. Let's see. I was trying to see like an example. Okay, so this was what I did recently for our because we're now offering some insulation removal and restoration and things like that. What I did is I used this tool in ChatGPT. It's like a SEO plugin type of thing, and it will, like, this is what I entered into it essentially. Like, I entered kind of my own prompt into it, and then from there it came up with a bunch of the headings, and then from there it just kind of auto populated a whole page for me. And then I can actually show you, we'll go into this tab here. Oh man, I wasn't even sharing that, was I? No, I wasn't sharing it. Okay, let me go back to this, share screen. And then we'll go into ChatGPT first so I can go over all that again. Let me make sure we're actually sharing it this time. And let me take your comment off really quick. Okay, let's go over this again. So yeah, on ChatGPT, there's this SEO, like, I don't know if you want to call it a plugin or what, but that comes with the like the pro version or whatever that we're paying for. It's like $20 a month or something like that. But I entered this prompt into it because we're now offering installation services, and it created this entire page with headings, H1, H2, H3s, H4s, all that fun stuff. And then what I'll do is show you guys, let me see, go into my website here. I'll show you guys the page that I ended up actually making with it. So, and again, this was just a quick one that I actually made in my CEU class, to be honest. I was sitting there in my CEU class with just my, not even my laptop. I had my iPad with me with a keyboard, and I made this entire page up just with my iPad really quick. That and ChatGPT. So I'll probably go in here and edit it a little bit more, clean it up, add some more pictures and things like that. But like you can see, I mean, I had a quick page just made up really quickly for our installation service that we now offer. Just using ChatGPT really quick, and of course added some of my own little jazz into it here and there too. And we were using a company called, what was it, Adexo, I believe. I think it was Adexo. I forget off the top of my head. It's been about a year now since we used them. Uh-oh. Your browser has lost connection to your screen share. Oh, I don't need screen share audio anyways. We were using a company called like Adexo or something like that, and we just didn't really have good results with them. They were doing Facebook ads for us specifically, and it just wasn't really, we just weren't getting the results that we were wanting at the end of the day. Like, we were getting quite a few leads after the first couple weeks, but the leads were so unqualified. Like, they were like, you could just tell, like, just poor people, to be honest. I got nothing against poor people or anything, but just sometimes, you can't afford the service. And that just was what it was. And so I was like, you know what? Like, we've been using this for like 2 months now. I was like, we're paying pretty good money for it too. I think it's something like $400 a month or something like that. I was just like, you know what? I can invest this in SEO instead, and that's now what we're doing. Let's see. How's it going, Matthew? Matthew Springfield says, I need to know how to go from working for an off. Hold on, let me read this again. I need to know how to go from working for an offshoot of the big O to being independent. So it's going to depend on your state, of course, just like I always answer a lot of questions about like getting started on your own. It's going to depend largely upon your state. In most states, you're going to have a certain amount of experience at a company first, unless if you have a degree that's equivalent to, this field like entomology or something like that. Or in some cases, even like biology, just some type of science field, right? Then from there, you're going to have to get a certified applicator license. And then once you get your certified applicator license, you'll look at, getting pest control business insurance, register your business with the IRS, get an EIN number, all that fun stuff. which I think you might have to actually do that before getting your pest control business insurance. Don't quote me on that. It's been 4 or 5 years now, but I believe that was the order I did it in. I got the EIN, then I got the pest control business insurance. Then I went through my state controller website, or for some of you, that might be like your Secretary of State website. What else? What else is there? I'm thinking of just like all the legal stuff that I had to do to like be legit up and running. Um, of course, it's not a bad idea to file like a DBA as well. That way somebody can't just like take your name, operate under your name. Man, I'm trying to think. I think in terms of the legalities, I mean, that covers kind of the must that you have to do to get started. And then, of course, like we were talking about earlier in the stream, in most states, you're not going to be able to like do it on the side. You're going to have to do it, like take the actual leap forward and actually do it. So, I mean, could you technically do it on the side? Sure, but you're risking your license, you're risking, fines, you're risking losing your job anyway. So usually what I suggest people is save up 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. And when I say 3 to 6 months worth of expenses, I don't mean, say you usually spend $10,000 a month living because you're, going out every weekend, you're doing this, you're doing that. I'm talking like literally your bare basics. Like, what do you need to survive? Like food, rent, or your housing, whatever, your vehicle, your basics, right? Whatever that is, multiply that by 3 to 6, save that up. Obviously, you probably want a down payment for a truck if you don't already have a truck. And then, just make that launch ultimately. And then, of course, we've got hundreds of videos now at this point, just kind of helping you guys out with all of that too, with gaining customers and everything else like that too. So hopefully that helps answer the question. And if you have any more, don't hesitate to shout it out. We'll probably be ending this live here in a few minutes, but if anyone else has any other questions, and like I said, hopefully you guys have been enjoying the live stream too. If you have been, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me see. I'm getting some questions pulled up also, like I said, from the comments of the past as well. Bernie4366 says, what was the service you talked about in your first videos that had like 50 backlinks for X amount of dollars? So those, from what I can tell, most were complete trash. Just going to be completely honest. I can see why they were cheap. The good thing is we're now paying an SEO company who, like I was showing you guys just a little bit ago, we're starting to see results now after a couple months. We can see our organic traffic is spiking, organic keywords spiking, everything we were talking about earlier, backlinks, all that stuff, like everything is going in the right direction now, where when I was doing it myself and purchasing these backlinks and things like that, it just wasn't really moving the needle at all at the end of the day. So instead of purchasing backlinks, I would just suggest finding a company that you trust. We've used a couple now, and this company we're using now, again, it's still early. I don't want to just say like I fully endorse them, everybody should use them or anything like that. But so far, I mean, like I said, I mean, the numbers kind of speak for themselves. We're going in the right direction. We're not where we want to be, but I know it's a marathon, not a race too. So I'm going to give them an honest year. And if after a year I'm just not satisfied with it, then I'll move on. But so far, I don't really see it going in that direction. So far, I'm pretty impressed with what they've accomplished in just 3 months for us. So instead of trying to like do it yourself, I mean, that is one area that I will probably never just full on do it myself again. Local SEO is relatively easy in terms of ranking your Google business profile and things like that. Ranking a website, I mean, it's a totally different beast at the end of the day. Like, it's a full on profession that takes years and years and years of work. So, to be able to pay a company hundreds or, at the most a couple $1,000s a month to be able to handle that, it's a no-brainer. Let's see. Mr. Neezy TV says, right now I'm in pest sales door to door, but I want to be my own CEO one day. What would you say is the most important thing when starting? Should I prepare myself or just go and do it and stop overthinking? That is one thing. I'm glad you mentioned that. That is one thing that like I bring up a lot is like a lot of you guys that have been following the channel for a while know that like I was at Terminex for like what 3 years and change, something like that, just over 3 years. And my original plan was to only be at Terminex for like a year, year and a half, meet the minimum requirements to get my CA and then start my own. Well, after working at Terminex for like 2 to 3 months, my wife got pregnant, who wasn't my wife at the time. We were just, together, right? And then we got engaged, married, been happily married since. But, this is what, 6 years ago now. And obviously, anyone that's had a kid knows whenever you're going to be having that first one, life changes, to say the least. Like, you go from being just put all the risk on to pulling a lot of risk off. You're trying to be safe. We need insurance. We need this. We need that. Just try, because you can't just afford to roll the dice and go homeless whenever you have a kid, right? But in a way, it did early on pull me back because instead of just making that leap, even though I had the knowledge, I had the little nest egg built up in terms of money and things like that, I just did not want to pull the trigger. Like, I was wanting to wait until I was like, okay, I know I need a couple months of expenses. Let me go ahead and get a year's worth of expenses. Like, I kept making excuses to just not making that leap. And that was why the day that they called me in and fired me during COVID, I was literally kind of just grinning ear to ear and just laughing because I'm a believer in God and Jesus and all that. And I was just telling my manager, I was like, man, like, because me and him were actually kind of cool with each other. I was like, this is like a blessing. Like, this is a sign for me. I was like, I needed this push. This is God telling me, like, now's the time. Like, let's do it. And then, sure enough, within 1 week, passed my exams and started the business. So, all that being said, you definitely got to just at some point take that leap of faith. Obviously, you want to do it wisely. You want to have everything kind of in place the best you can. Have a business plan. I'm talking about this with my wife right now, even because now both of our kids are kind of getting to that age. Our youngest is like 1.5, almost 2, and both of the kids now are at that age where she's able to kind of do some things if she wants to, and she's looking at starting her own business at some point. And I'm telling her, like, you want to be strategic about like this. I was like, come up with this plan and this and that. How are you going to market? Like, just kind of walking her through what I went through. And, but I was like, but at the end of the day, like, don't overthink it. Like, just kind of write this down, jot this down, save this, save that. And, we'll just launch it at the end of the day and see what happens. Because it's so easy just to overthink everything, overanalyze, and just, everyone gets, I think to a degree too, some of it is just how we're taught. A lot of us are taught more of a scarcity mindset than like an abundance mindset. Even to this day, I still fight that a lot of times. Like, for example, the software I'm using right now to like pull up your all's comments and everything, I ran out of my free trial of it and I had to drop $400 and something today for the year to pay for this software to use for the YouTube channel. That is like over a month or two worth of YouTube income. But me 5 or 6 years ago, I would not have paid for this software. I would have found a way to, go around it, use free software, not even be able to pull up your comments and things like that. But now I'm like, dude, it's $400. All I got to do is go sell one client. Like that, it's not a big deal, right? Like it's going to make the YouTube channel better overall. Like I'm slowly but surely getting more of that abundance mindset. Now, again, you still need to be thoughtful with it. Don't just, oh man, it's 200 grand. All I got to do is go add another route. Like, you got to be smart with it. But, our society so many times, I think you even mentioned this down here, family wants to keep you safe. Exactly. Like, I mean, I think I missed one of your comments here earlier. How'd you get to the point where you can achieve all these great things but still have a family, but you can't let them distract you either? Yeah, that is one thing. I think the word that you are referring to, my friend, is balance. How do you balance all that? And I will tell you straight up, you don't. Um, I mean, I miss a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna say I miss a lot of stuff, but I do miss stuff. Like there will be family dinners that I don't go to. I kind of just learned to pick and choose what. And you can tell me if I'm going off on a different tangent than what you're asking, but I think this is kind of what you're referring to a little bit. Um, there's gonna be times that you have to sacrifice ultimately. There's birthday dinners that I miss. They're not important ones. Again, I pick and choose. Like, of course, my own daughter's birthdays and stuff like that. Like, of course, I'm never gonna miss. But at the same time, there's certain ones where I'm like, I mean, am I really that close to them at the end of the day? Like, I got to do this, I got to do that. Like, I have a long day today. Like, sometimes it's not even just the business side of things. Like, there's the personal stuff that I need to get done in order to not lose my sanity, right? Like, I need to get a walk in. I need to, get some weightlifting in. I need to do this. I need to do that. Like, I'm not going to sacrifice the stuff that, my disciplines to go do just random stuff like go eat freaking birthday cake or whatever the case may be, right? So, something's going to have to suffer. Exactly. Yeah. And like I said, man, like this to a large degree is way overblown in the entrepreneurial community, in my opinion. Like, it just gets massively overblown. Like, I mean, you ask half these people, they're like, oh man, I never sleep. I work 48 hours a day. I do this. I do, like, I have no family time. I don't do this. I lost my wife. My kids hate me. Like, no, 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 no. Matter of fact, right before I hopped on the stream, which was why I was a couple minutes late, I had some lunch with the family. I was literally outside playing with the kids, which is why I have this flannel on because it was kind of nipply outside. Like, you find ways to just build your life around your business and build your business around your life more than anything. But absolutely, there are going to be things that you do miss too. My wife, thankfully, she's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Not forgiving, but has a lot of grace with me with that. Like she will let me know like when something is like important. Like I wasn't going to even go today to a family event for the new year, as a matter of fact. But she's like, hey, some of the families coming down from the Midwest where we used to live, like, it would mean a lot. But like we have that communication, right? So a lot of it too is communication. You have to have that open line of communication with either your wife, like your spouse, your kids, your, whoever, may be suffering, so to speak, if that makes sense. Because you don't want resentment to start building on either side. Because say I just told my wife yes, yes, yes to everything, then I'm going to start getting resentful, mean like, man, I never do anything for the business. I'm never doing this for myself. Like, there has to be that communication. And I'm not even great at communication, to be honest. Y'all can ask my wife. Like, I'm horrible about communication. But it's something that you just constantly have to work on. That way, just everybody to a degree is happy, and the business is able to grow, and you do what you need to do at the end of the day. Like I said, this does get massively overblown in the entrepreneurial space, but there are a lot of times where, yes, like you're not going to be able to make everything, and obviously, the more that you miss, the more that you're going to get done. But I actually argue, even from my own personal experience, are you actually getting that much more done? Or are you sitting here in your office just doing this? Just scrolling, doing mind numbing scrolling, just wasting time. Because there's a difference between sacrificing because you're sitting here pumping out 50 blog articles, doing a YouTube video, doing this, doing that, like building your business and, doing your workouts and all this stuff versus just, oh, I'm so busy. Oh, I did a blog for 5 minutes. Let me go ahead and scroll on TikTok for the next 35. Or, oh man, I just got to work out and let me go watch a 4-hour football game. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a huge football fan. I grew up near Kansas City, so obviously I'm paying a lot of attention to the Chiefs. Hate them for getting good after I moved away from Missouri, but because I had season tickets when they were god awful. But obviously, like I watch football, but I catch myself even. I'm like, dude, it's not that serious. I missed a Missouri, again, I grew up in Missouri, so I'm obviously a Missouri fan, which it's painful sometimes. But they had a bowl game yesterday. I missed the bowl game. Why? Because I had family time set up to go to an indoor water park with the family. So it's like, you have to, yes, you need to have fun. But the thing is like we said, everyone's got the same 24 hours in a day, and there's going to be areas of sacrifice. So, you know, you got to pick. Something will be suffering at the end of the day. When I'm doing family time, the business is suffering. When I'm doing business time, I don't want to say the family's suffering because obviously it's my job to provide at the end of the day, but the family time is suffering. Um, if I'm effing off scrolling or watching football, doing fantasy football, whatever the case may be, everything is suffering because that's just straight up wasted time. But you do need some wasted time. I'm not saying that, you should just have zero wasted time unless if that's your prerogative. Like if you want to literally have zero quote unquote wasted time, like you have no desire to watch football or watch Netflix or scroll any social media. Like if you want zero of that, then by all means, like, hey, I'll applaud you for it. I can't do it because I'll go crazy. I've done it before. You guys see it when I post a YouTube video like every single day. When you see me super active on YouTube, that is me kind of just eliminating everything. Like there's no distractions. When you see me kind of take a step back from YouTube and I'm only posting like maybe once a week, once every couple weeks, that's because the business is super busy. That's because I'm realizing I need some more family time. I need some rest. Like, I start to go literally fucking insane if I'm just straight up zoned in 100% of the time every single day. Some people call it burnout. It's not burnout. It's 100% not burnout. I don't believe in burnout. It's just, it's finding out what is the best mix for you. I hate the word balance, so I wasn't going to say balance there, but I almost did. It's just finding what works for you. So, whew, I felt like a long answer. Hopefully that helps answer that question. How's it going, Freddie? Happy New Year. Yeah, Happy New Year, man. Yeah. Like I was saying, of course, I had a little bit of health stuff going on. You guys know, speaking of which, that, I've had this weird little, I don't know, anxiety, panic disorder BS. It kind of flared up just after Thanksgiving, and it kind of, I got off of some medication because I don't like pharmaceuticals at all. But, it is what it is. I had to get back on them just because, again, I was kind of going crazy for a minute. Found out I do have high blood pressure too. Again, not like crazy stuff or anything, just stuff that I was a little bit surprised about, especially with as much as I do work out. But hey, your diet does affect stuff. And living in Texas, my diet had kind of gone to shit. Not gonna lie. I mean, I do eat lots of fish and stuff, but when you're eating a bunch of desserts, what do you expect? And it runs in my family, so I have to be very mindful. I'm taking shots of cayenne pepper in the morning every day. I'm trying not to have to get on blood pressure medication. But like I said, I had a lot going on over a period of about 4 weeks or so. So hopefully now that we're kind of starting to get some things narrowed out and, figured out and everything, we'll kind of get back on that regular schedule a little bit for you guys. And like I said, matter of fact, one of you guys reached out to me through email. I just remembered that. I need to get back to you guys because we're going to be starting to do not Q&A, but we're going to be doing actual podcast interviews with people in the industry. I had one of you guys reach out to me that's doing very well for yourselves. It sounds like close to $1 million a year, and you're wanting to do a podcast episode with me. So that is all stuff that will be coming down the pipeline in 2025. So definitely stay tuned, be subscribed, bell icon, all that good stuff. We're going to take a quick break, really quick. I need to get a drink just really fast. It'll probably be like less than 30 seconds. I just don't want to be guzzling this drink in your all's ear or anything. So we are going to be right back. And if you have any questions, of course, throw them in the chat, and we'll be wrapping up here, like I said, probably in the next few minutes or so. All right, we are back. Let me see, pull up our comments here really quick. Your time means so much more. Exactly. Let's see. Mr. Neezy said, bro, football wastes too much of my time. Man. I don't know if y'all have seen that little meme going around with the old man who's looking all fly. But man, nah, for real. Nah, that stuff wastes way too much time. Because, I mean, my gosh. I mean, now the NFL schedule's what, like 20 weeks out of the year or so if you include if you include preseason and postseason, it's like half the year now. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I played a lot of sports growing up. I love football. I love basketball. But anymore, like, I'm starting to slowly just distance myself from it. It's hard. I'm almost addicted. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, especially, like I said, now that my team is kind of like the dynasty, so to speak, that's going on right now. Like, it's hard to, like, just not be focusing on it because they're just, I mean, it's hard when they're good, right? But, because you know they're not going to be good forever, and once they're not good, I won't pay as much attention, really, ever. But, it definitely wastes a lot of time, but, you know, like I said, there is, to a degree, some balance there with it. As much as I hate that word, there is some balance there, but like we say, you gotta be really, really intentional with your time. That's why I love my Get Shit Done planner, which I hadn't even paid attention in terms of I tried not bringing it up. YouTube had like a little thing where if we hit 10, where they called super chats or something like that, then we're giving away a free Get Shit Done planner to one of you guys. I haven't heard anything about it. It was supposed to let me know. But anyways, my whole point with bringing that up was I love my Get Shit Done planner because it keeps me accountable to, like, not just getting shit done, but like I said, what I love about it is it has literally from 12 a.m. to 12 a.m., you know, I've showed you guys before, one page has like your list of like what you need to get done. Right below that, there's a brain dump. And then on the second page, there's literally from 12 a.m. to 12 a.m., you just fill in your schedule for the day. So what I love about that is it really helps me just kind of assign slots of my time to like what needs to be done, the family, you know, is there going to be some football game I'm going to watch or whatever the case may be. Like I said, it's just being intentional. Being intentional is everything. Let's see. Freddie says, as long as you have treatment for it, blood pressure can be hereditary. Yep, it 100% was for me. I was one of those people that was healthy, skinny, and eating right, and blood pressure wouldn't go down. So we adapt. Exactly. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm hoping I don't have to get on any type of blood pressure medication, but it is hereditary to a degree with me, and mine isn't like just through the freaking roof. It's anywhere between like 130 to at the max like 140, 145, which obviously once you get over like 140, you're getting up there. And then that little bottom number is usually between like 80 to 95. So obviously once you get up over like 80, 85, I think like 85 or 90, something like that, is where they start to kind of worry. But I need to get it actually check again here soon from like the actual doctor or whatever. But like I said, right now it's kind of more so that like monitoring it and being like super intentional with what I'm eating and my exercise, getting my steps. Like I said, all that is ironic because obviously we're in pest control where we take like bare minimum 8,000 steps a day, but sometimes you got to do more and like you said, adapt. Freddie also said, "How are you planning your 2025 business goals?" So, matter of fact, I plan on sitting down tomorrow and just kind of doing a brain dump, going over just all of 2024's numbers. What was our net gain in terms of accounts for the year? What was our net gain in terms of sales for the year? Just kind of figure all of that out. And then from there, figure out, okay, what is our goals for revenue in 2025? What is our goals for accounts added in 2025? And then of course just any other goals that are in there as well. But more so than just the goals, also the plan of actions that we're going to take to get there. How much more are we going to invest into Google Ads? How much more are we going to invest into SEO? How much more are we going to invest into, investing into just what I would consider the foundation of the business? What I mean by foundation of the business is like employees. Do we need to go ahead and look at buying another truck? Do we need to look at hiring that call center that I was looking at hiring? What was the name of them? Pest SOS, I believe was the name of them. Like, just figuring out, like, we have the goals, but okay, but how are we going to get to the goals? Like, what is our plan? And obviously the plan changes based on, just trial and error. But, I always say a goal without a plan is just a dream at the end of the day. So, we'll evaluate all that, and then we'll kind of, start piecing together what the plan is. And then, like you said about adapting, we'll just kind of adapt from there. Because obviously, as we know, we can set up a plan, but there's our plan and then there's God's plan. So, we'll adapt as we move throughout 2025 as well. I can tell you already that I very, very much expect to have a full-time, not just an employee, a full-time employee hired, paying them pretty well just based on the math that I'm doing. Let me see. The math, actually I have it written down still over here on my whiteboard. So I would probably be paying the employee, which includes taking the truck home, by the way. That would come out to somewhere around just under $5,000 a month total. So about 60,000, just under 60,000 a year, which, in my opinion, for a company that is not in like California, New York, one of these crazy states where you got to make like six figures just to survive, a state like Texas where there's no state income tax, very, very just employee and employer friendly, and just being a small company hiring its first employee, I think that is a very reasonable, like, starting out salary. And then, like I mentioned earlier in the stream, there's going to be endless opportunities in terms of being able to make money on the sales side of it too for the employee too. So that 50 to 60,000 start is how it sounds. Like, it's a start for that employee. So, of course, I will keep you guys updated on all of that. And, yeah, I guess if we don't have any more questions, then we'll start looking at wrapping the stream up overall. Hopefully, like I said, you guys did enjoy the stream. We've been live already for almost an hour and a half. It's crazy how quick the time flies by with you guys. And like I said, hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you did, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button. Share it with somebody if you know somebody that could benefit from it. And if you do happen to have any questions after this video, this live, that is, goes from a live to a video, then drop it down in the comments down below. And of course, if you're not already in our Discord group or Facebook group, they're totally free to join. All links that could benefit you are in the description box down below. I appreciate you guys as always. Have a happy new year. I hope you guys had a great Christmas and holiday season and a blessed 2024, and just hoping for a health and prosperous 2025 for you guys. I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next one.